everybody, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you can hear this alright because it's quite windy here. Now this is another one of those in-between videos. So I've come out in the field because this is where where it's all happening, or where it all was happening when I videoed this. And this is a field that my brother was baling, and this happened at the end of May, the last week of May, just before we went to Weymouth. And I thought it'd be a good one to do because more than 30 years ago, 30 some odd years ago, I was farming at the other end of the island, and we had cows, and down there we were right on the coast. And you know, sort of when the brent geese come over here, you can have a field of grass that's, you know, 2 or 3 inches high. And when the brent geese come in, they used to come down on those fields because we were on the coast, and within a couple of days it was like nothing left. They annihilated the grass. So anyway, that's sort of part of the reason why I'm saying that, you know, introducing this in the video, is because basically we were short of grass. And my brother, well, my dad was still alive then, and they after potatoes they'd sown some grass, you know, like for green manure, and it was high, you know, it was probably a foot high but very thick. And they said, well, my dad and my brother said, you can have it if you want to come and mow it and bale it, or turn it, bale it, all the rest of it, you know, by all means do so. So we were so short of stuff for our cows to eat, thought, yeah, that's a good idea. But there was a type of grass, and sort of at the end of the summer, the blasted thing, you know, it never dried. You could never dry it. You could turn it as much as you like. So much moisture in it, it would tend to go brown and stay damp. So we dried it as much as we could, and then I came up with my baler, which is now my brother's baler. He bought it off me in the end. I bought it at auction, and I paid only 140 quid for it because something had happened to it. The timing was all out. I don't know if a chain had broken or what, and nobody really, well, a couple of people bid on it, but they didn't go high. And I was sort of thinking a baler would be blooming handy for us, so I bought it. I didn't have a clue how to you know, do it or anything. I thought, well, I've got to try and sort this baler out now. Anyway, our landlords had one in their shed from when they'd been farming, and it was a slightly older model than that. And I went and have a look at that in the shed, and I thought, I wonder if the instructions are in the toolbox in the baler. There's a little box on the side, a little door that you open. I opened the door, and sure enough it was in there, and in those instructions, I mean, the balers were virtually the same. It was how to time it. So I spent a day mucking around with it, and I got it timed. I eventually got it timed, and you know, we started using it, and I'll tell you what godsend that baler was. It saved me a load of money with a contractor, and well worth 140 quid spent. And like I say, when I gave up farming, my brother bought it off me for 100 quid, and he used it. Well, I've got a video, I'm going to put it on. I've got some clips of 3 years ago in the other field right over the other side there that he was baling in, and the hay was thick, and he was using that baler. But since then, something went on it, so he needs to have a look at it and repair it, but he hasn't had time. So meantime, he's used this one that he's going to use in the video, which is, you know, he works with another guy, so I'm not sure how they work it, but anyway, they've got the other baler, and he's bought an old one, well, not bought, I think he's had it given, right over, I don't know if you can see it in the distance, probably not, right over under one of those trees, and it's an old wreck, it's an old rust bucket, but some of the bits that are on it is going to help him to sort the other one out when he's got time. So, you know, like I say, that baler has done me well, and it's done my brother well for a long time, so that's we've had our money's worth out of it, and I think there's still some money's worth to have out of it as well. Okay, so I'm in this field here because this is, like I say, the said field. Now, yeah, 30 plus years ago, I've digressed now and I've forgotten where I was. I came up with my baler. Well, I mowed it first, and then I turned it. I kept coming every day up here and turned it, and then I came up with a baler, and I baled it, and my brother filmed me baling it, and I thought, well, it'd be good to show that. It's on my other YouTube channel. I've got two, so some of you will have seen it, some of you won't have, because you don't realise I've got another YouTube channel. It's all for more farming stuff and mycorrhizal and all that, you know, but I haven't posted anything on there for quite a few years now, so I'm concentrating more on this channel. But anyway, yeah, so I've put the video of me baling 30 years ago. I think it's about 32 years ago, 32, 33 years ago. And, you know, just take note in the first part of the video of me baling, all the trees and that down there. Have a look at what it looks like then, because there's not so many trees on there. These trees have grown an awful lot. So there used to be all elms around there, and they got the Dutch elm, and that was it. They were all cut down, so this was all replanted. And yeah, over, if I turn around, so behind me there, and that where it's from those trees, that's the view you've got when I do my outdoor shots. And there's trees all the way along, you know, the other field where my brother was doing the mowing and the baling with a little round baler. Just at the end of that, there's another field on top that's somebody else's, and there were no trees. In the first part of the video, you'll see that. And now, there are big trees everywhere along that hedge, all the way along that hedge. So it's just, you know, I thought, okay, we've all aged as well, so it's just, you can see what I was I was more like when I was younger. And you can see how the place has changed, or the scenery's changed, by watching it. So yeah, I've done a few of the still photos. I had a look in my albums and that, and there's some of, you know, when I was a kid, in the intro, the first, I don't know if it's the first one or the second, the first one is on the tractor with my brother. I'm only a baby, well, a bit older, like an infant, I suppose. And then the next one is me in front of the horse at the bottom of the yard, and holding a toy tractor. I think it was, if I remember rightly, that was a wind-up tractor. You had like a key on it, and plastic, and I'm sure there was a man that used to sit on it. A white plastic man, or a creamy coloured plastic man, and that used to come off all the time. And I think I do remember throwing it up in the air and lost it on top of the flat roof of the potato loft. Anyway, that's another story. Yeah, so, and then there's a few photos of my brother and a few of me in our younger days, and then I've taken a couple of pictures of my brother working on his crawler tractor, which he uses in the slopes to do flailing in the meadow and in the coaties that were once, you know, all planted in potatoes. Yeah, so I thought I'd put those in, and one of the photos I took of my brother is in almost the same place as where I was, with in front of the horse. So that bit hasn't changed much, apart from the trees. I think all the trees were chopped down at the end of the field above, and then they've all grown again since. So that's that part of it. So I'm saying so again. But anyway, that's what this is all about, is just my brother baling those bales up. What I was going to say is, those of you that know a bit about baling and all that and grass, you'll say, oh God, he's baling that too green, but the reason was just so that we could cart it back to feed our cows. It didn't last long, 2 or 3 days, and that was it. You know, it was gone with all our cows, so it was just a help to us. And you'll see a brief glimpse of my old TK flatbed lorry, the back of it. And I think the field, now look, the field behind me, this is where the video ends. You see all the marquees and those little tenty things, whatever they call them. That's the owners of this field, because the owners now, his parent used to rent it out to my dad, and then obviously my brother took over the farm. It's carried on. It's now a different generation. It was the next generation that rents out to my brother, and the next generation's coming on, so I assume they'll be the ones renting it out after that. So yeah, the reason why the tents are there is that they have the opera singers over once a year, and some of the schools come, and it must be like an opera production team there. They come with a lorry, they come with all their gear, and they set up in the field there, and they come for 3 or 4 days, I think it is, and they do several performances, and you know, by invite only it is. I've never been. I've never been, no. I'm not really into opera that much. So yeah, the video ends my brother baling a bit in that field where the tents are, marquees or whatever you call it. And then I've just done a few sort of quick clips of the guy that works for my brother. He bought his International up and his trailers up to use, obviously, to load the hay. That was his tractor with the grab on the front, you'll see in the video. I think he was just putting a couple of the stacks together, ready for when the trailers, you know, when my brother had baled a bit more, so they're all close together. So yeah, so that was that, and then a couple of the hay turners, one on my brother's, one of his Fergies, his TF, the diesel one, and one on the 35. So that's about it. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and yeah, thank you for joining me to watch this one, a bit different from the norm again. And you know, any new subscribers in here, thank you for joining me for this video. And well, as I always say, please sit back, relax, enjoy watching the video, and see what my brother and I got up to in this field. Okay.